Welcome, everybody. We are going to go over how to build a consultation package, but also, just as a little treat, we're going to talk about other packages that you can possibly build, especially with like the holidays coming up and just other ideas for passive income that you might be interested in. So, without further ado, I guess there's new people here too, so we should probably introduce ourselves.
We should.
My name is Paxton. I am the designer success manager here at Mydoma, powered by Studio Designer. And Marsha here is a longtime interior designer and also in our support and implementation team here at Mydoma. And Marsha, if you have any other introductions that you would like to add, feel free, but I will let you take it away.
That's good. That's good. I'm sure I have talked to a lot of you either through doing your Mydoma studio setup or if you're a new user with your implementation. But without further ado, let's talk packages today because I love talking packages. They if they can be anything you need them to be. If you can think it and create it, you can monetize it. So that's what I love about packages. They definitely made a huge difference to my business. And the nice thing is I don't want to use the term passive because it's not necessarily passive income, but it's definitely a way for you to monetize your business without you having to be so hands-on with clients. So we are going to, before we get started, do a little homework. This is a webinar today. And so with a webinar, if you have a question, please be sure to put it in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. And that way, Paxton or we're going to tag team this today, can keep an eye and make sure that we don't miss any of your questions. So please be sure to put your questions in the Q&A versus the chat. Okay. Thank you, Paxton, making sure I did my homework. So what are we going to cover in this webinar today? We're going to talk about packages and why you should use them in your business. We're going to talk about not just a consultation or a discovery call package or a strategy call package, but we're going to talk about other creative ways to use that feature in the studio. We're going to talk about how to use packages particularly to streamline your design business process. So from vetting a prospective client to onboarding a client. We're going to demonstrate how to create them. It's really, really easy. And once you create one, you can actually save it and you don't have to start from scratch for the second one, which I love. And then we're going to talk about that automation, streamlining. I prefer that one. Guidance to reducing that laborious work of running your business and best practices. With packages, I have been able to very easily onboard new clients, for example, and not have to have my hands involved in it so much and not have to get bogged down with that busy admin work. And by using packages, I've been able to ensure that every client that signs on to work with me are starting off at the same place when it comes to their client journey with me. No matter what the scope of their project is, it doesn't matter if they're an online design client and I'm just making some recommendations for their bedroom, or if they're a full service kitchen remodel client, their client journey is starting off the same way. Let's go. So let's meet Riley. So Riley, you're probably very similar to a lot of you. They are the owner and principal designer of a small firm, about 5 years in business. Riley and their team work on full service projects from living spaces to kitchens, and they pride themselves on providing excellent customer experience because we know that is the heart of our business. Riley's looking for ways to streamline their process with new clients. So we're going to talk about how we can do that today. So the first problem that a lot of designers experience or encounter is that they do not have a streamlined or automated process for that initial consult with new clients. The client is probably calling in, they're booking it through various texts back and forth or emails back and forth, and then it's, oh, did I send them this, or I should have gathered this information. So you may be using various platforms as well when it comes to onboarding that client or for that initial consult. So maybe, you're using Google Forms for your questionnaire, Calendly for appointments, Canva for your client welcome pack, Google Docs. We're going to show you how you can take all those different apps and documents that you're using and have it in the one place. And so you are not having to run around with your head cut off, trying to locate those items, find those items, and then send them off to the client. The client can literally sign up for the package. They're creating their profile when they do that. And then all those documents that they need to fill out and complete for you is there inside the package. That's the great thing. So reducing that laborious workflow, finding the time to streamline. I hear this a lot. We walk, our designers through on the process, and then it's finding the time. If I can pass on any nugget of suggestion or recommendation for you, is don't look at the big picture. Don't look at all the work you have to do. But if you set aside 15, 20 minutes of focused work a day just to do the thing, make your little checklist, you will be amazed in a couple of weeks how far along you will be. So problem number 2 is finding that time to streamline. So Riley wants to automate their process. Of course, we all do. We all want to reduce that amount of laborious work running our business and the upfront legwork it takes to sign that new client, to prepare for that consultation. So the benefit of streamlining their process and finding the time isn't always easy. Next slide. So the 3 steps to streamline and automate. So first of all, you want to eliminate that upfront legwork for consultation. So when you decide after your discovery call, maybe that you want them to sign up for their consultation or initial consult, how can they do that? So, do we want to get caught up with, several emails back and forth? No, of course we don't. Do we want to, forget to send over the questionnaire before the consultation? No, of course we don't. So we want to eliminate that back and forth, that busy admin work. We want to understand, or you need to understand what your process is and get organized. We want to make sure that in order to have a client experience, that every client that comes through your door, you want to make sure that they all start at the same spot. And so that's how streamlining, automating, because it doesn't matter at what point they're signing up for the initial consultation package. They might decide to do that at 11 o'clock at night, but you don't have to worry. It's so nice to wake up in the morning and see that email saying initial consultation has been purchased, and then to see that they've already booked their call, because you'll get an email when they do that. You'll see that they've completed their questionnaire, and you'll see that they've approved maybe their client welcome packet, and you haven't had to do a thing. You've just got to prepare for that consultation. And so how we're going to do that, we're going to create that initial package. But we're going to talk about other packages today too, because again, the creativity is unlimited when it comes to packages and what you can do. So I'm just going to give you some examples as well as we get going today. And next one. So designers like you, we have packages is not new to Mydoma. It's been around since Mydoma's been around. And we just wanted to share with you in the past 18 months, what are some of the average sales or top sales that our designers using Mydoma have been able to make off packages alone. So these are some pretty, I think, significant figures. And we're going to turn it over to Paxton. And I'll turn off my video.
Alrighty. Okay, so let's exit out of this presentation for just a moment and come into your studio. So everybody's studio will be different, obviously based off of what you've already built and your themes and stuff like that. But everybody, once you log in, will go to your dashboard. On the left-hand side, you should see a menu. If not, you may see 3 lines. Maybe you're on a tablet or a phone, or maybe you're just on a smaller screen and zoomed in. You may see 3 lines instead. So let me just go ahead and zoom in for just a moment, like this. You can select the 3 lines and then scroll down here to find what you need. For this webinar, I am going to be zoomed out just so I can see everything for this. So on the left-hand side again, if you are zoomed in a little bit, you may have to scroll down a little bit just to see the packages, but that is where we're going to go first. I'm also trying to not zoom out too far since I do have a larger screen. Okay, so to actually start out creating a package, at the top right, unless you're on a smaller screen, tablet, phone, it'll be at the bottom right. You're going to select the plus icon to select Add Package. So you'll give the package a name. So let's do consultation webinar, since you can see that I have a few consultations already in here. You must give it a category. So as you can see, I have some categories already listed, but maybe you want to have something new, or maybe you haven't created anything yet. So let's just do, let's see. If I wanted to create a new category, you'll just type it in the search and you can select create here and that'll create it for you. I don't want to have too many categories, so I'm actually going to remove my search and just select this consultation one. And templates, if you have any templates, great. But if you're just starting out, you probably don't. We'll kind of go into how to do templates a little bit later, just because we want to actually create it first. So now I'm going to select save. And I am in my studio, or in my package, where I've already been in our studio. So as you can see here, it's going to take you into the info tab. I have the general package name that I just set up. I can see if I have archived it, published it to where anybody that goes to my store page can see it, or unlisted, which means only people with the specific link to the package can access it. A good reason would be maybe you have a family and friends discount that you want to offer. That would be a reason why you would have an unlisted package. If you need to add a tax rate, if services are taxable where you are, or if you are selling a chair through a package, you could do that too. Add payments. So if you do not currently have Stripe set up in your studio, you won't be able to add a value to the package to where they can pay for it, but that's okay. You can still have free packages and invoice them later, or just have a free discovery call package. If you set up Stripe, you can actually add a value to it, whether that be your hourly rate for a consultation, or if you just wanted to do a couple groups, you can do that too. Of course, you have your category listed here and your default currency based off of your studio. And then you're also able to tag your packages, more so just to help you filter for them later on. On the right-hand side, we see package images. So whenever you are uploading a package image, for the feature image specifically, if you have any text on it, I highly, highly, highly recommend having the text towards the center, just because a lot of places where it shows will be a little bit more square. And so if you have the text on the outer edges, there is a chance that it could be cut off, especially if they're on a different screen size to where it does naturally have to condense it. Just making sure that any text, if you have it in the image, is towards the center of the image. So I'm going to select to upload images. And I can drag and drop or browse from my computer. For today, I'm going to pull from my media gallery because I've already uploaded some consultation images. So I'm going to do this consultation, and then I have a couple extra images that I wanted to have on the side. So I'm going to check mark those and select that. And it should upload those if I pull it from the media gallery. Give it just a moment to fully process, or since I have Zoom running, I'm going to go ahead and refresh. And I can see the feature images here. Whatever image you select first should default as the feature image, but if you wanted to switch it, you can select the star to make that the new primary image. And of course, if you accidentally selected a one that you didn't want, you can select the X to remove it. And again, I said keep the text towards the center, so this image actually does not follow that. So this is a situation where I say do as I say, not as I do. But with the extra images, if it is on the side, since it's not that feature images, that gets kind of condensed a bit, it won't matter as much. And I'll kind of show you that on the store page once we get there. Continuing down, you can see that you have different features listed here. So if you wanted to use these features for your package, you can turn those on and off. So I'm going to turn these on for today's presentation, just so you can kind of see what all you can do in a package. But if it's toggled on, it'll have this check mark and it'll be to the right. If it is off, it'll default it off. You won't see it on the left-hand side, but also it'll be toggled to the left and not have a check mark in here. Okay, moving down, we have the description. The description is what shows for the package before they go and add it to their cart to purchase. So this is to add more details on what they can expect and kind of what they're actually signing up for. This is kind of the sales pitch to be like, this is why you want to work with us, and this is what you're getting out of this. So I have typed this up elsewhere. So I'm going to copy this back to my studio and paste it. Keep in mind, you will need to adjust any formatting in here. So just take the time to do that. So let's do like a heading 1, just so it stands out a bit more. Bold, and then just, again, any other like little formatting options that you wanted to do. Maybe you want the extra space, maybe you don't. You have a lot of the basics, so bold, italics, underline, strike through, not super common for a package, but maybe you want to say like for a holiday deal that you want to strike through what the price is normally. That could be an option. You can change the font color or the highlight color for the background. You can clear any formatting. You have the different font sizes. There we go. You also have the numbers, bullets, checkboxes. You can do a little quote, so that kind of indents it. And you can also hyperlink things in here. So if you wanted to even, like maybe you share this package through social media and you want to link back to your website if they wanted to have more information, go for it. Continuing down, we have the post-purchase information. The post-purchase information goes to what is the project overview and is going to be the main page of the package. So whenever they come here, they can see the description of, okay, what are the next steps that they need to do? For example, maybe while they do get a notification kind of to show that they do have a questionnaire to fill out, maybe you just want to go ahead and still list it out so it is very clear that, hey, I need you to do this before our call. So if I come over to what I've already pre-written, I can copy those steps and paste those here. Again, you may need to adjust any formatting. Delete that. You are also able to type it out directly in here. You don't have to type it out elsewhere. It was just more so you're sitting there while I am typing everything out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select done here. And again, continue scrolling down. We also have related packages. So related packages would be other packages that you have created that maybe you're like, this might not be the option for you. Maybe you want to consider this. So an example would be like if you have an initial consult and you want to also potentially recommend selling some additional time as a separate package that they can add to their cart and purchase at the same time. That would be a great reason to have a related package. Or maybe you already have a client that's done the discovery call and consultation and you want to recommend something else. It's a variety of different things. It just depends on what you've created and what you want to promote. And the last thing on the info page is the client, pardon me, the client type. So you can set the client type as a lead or a past client. Whenever a client or lead signs up for a package, it will automatically create their profile in your client management. So you do not have to type in their name, their email, and also invite them. it would have already created it for them because they create their password whenever they also sign up for the package. If they are an existing client, you can sign them up, invite them, and then send them a package. They would just need to log in order to have it connected to their information. So it just depends on certain scenarios. So this is a consultation. So I'm actually going to say a qualified lead because typically by the consultation part, I would have them pay for the consultation instead of the discovery call. They would just be a regular lead, in my personal opinion, but totally up to you. Okay, so let's go into email and agreement. You can set up a default pre-purchase agreement and a default post-purchase email in your studio settings to where it will automatically apply to all packages that you create so you don't have to think about it. If you set it up in the studio settings, make sure it is generic enough to fit all kinds of packages that you create. However, if you want to customize it, you can uncheck this and enter the information here. So I have an example pre-purchase agreement that I would like to add. The pre-purchase agreement is something that they have to check off before they can fully sign up for the package. And this does convert into a signed contract because once the package is purchased, it turns into a project. And so this will show as a signed contract by the client that signed up, and it'll show all the details listed there. I can also customize my post-purchase email. So the post-purchase email is just once they've purchased it, it sends the email. Pretty self-explanatory, but you can uncheck that and maybe just have a custom little note to be like, okay, you've booked the discovery call or whatever you have for that type of package. And thank you so much. Maybe you want to also include here the next steps here as well, or however you want, whatever suits your brand best. And again, you have all these different formatting options in here that you can use too. Let me show you where these are in the studio settings real quick before I move over. So in your logo mark at the very top left corner, I'm going to select that, go to studio settings, and then I will go down to where it says packages. In the packages, this is where I can list my pre-purchase agreement and post-purchase email as a generalized thing. And again, that will be applied to all packages unless I uncheck it and specify it in the specific package. So let's go back to this package. Now I'm going to go to questionnaires. I failed you and did not pull up a questionnaire tab. So I do have some questionnaire templates in here already that I'm going to little bit cheat and pull in that code. So whenever you're doing the questionnaires, you can select add questionnaires. You'll need to give it a name. So let's just say welcome. And then you'll grab the link or the iframe code or whatever you need to pull it in. So for example, Google Forms, you would pull in the embed code, while some things like Jotform, you can typically use the link. If you have questions on that, please send us a message and we'll be more than happy to help you. We also have some articles on how to kind of go about that. Let's hope that this questionnaire is still active. Let's open up the questionnaire. Perfect. So this is a Google form. Please note that this email does not show to everyone. This is customized and will change out based off of the Google profile you're logged in as if you're on Chrome. So this email does not show to everybody. But whenever your clients come in, they can select open questionnaire and fill it out directly here. So again, typically you would just select add questionnaire, give it a name, and then paste the link or the code. Certain things that you can use are Jotform, Typeform, Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, things like that. You will need to build the questionnaire outside of the studio and embed it here. But at the very least, it keeps it all together for your client so they don't have to go multiple places or search through multiple emails for everything that you're trying to have them do. Let's go into appointments. So here, again, this is through a third party, whether you use Google Workspace, Calendly, Acuity, things like that. I can select add appointment at the top right. I think my mouse battery is dying. Okay, give it a name. So consultation call, looks like I spelled it right. You don't want to select a book appointment date because this will mark it as booked. This will not give them the option to actually schedule it themselves based off of your Calendly. What you'll want to do is you'll leave this section blank. And in the booking link, you'll go to whatever type of thing you're using, copy the booking link, and then paste that here and save. So again, you can open up the appointment. They'll be able to book based off of your Calendly link or Acuity or whatever you're needing. This availability is set up however you set it up in your third-party app. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of time open. But if I was maybe taking that 14th off, I could have that not available. Or you can see today, I don't have any other times today. That is set up through the actual appointment app itself. Products and services is not very common for a consultation, unless maybe you want to provide some alternate services. The products and services in a package is more so common with a shop the look where you use affiliate links, or if you were selling a custom design product that you're doing with a vendor and you want to give them the options to like and dislike what options they would want, and then you can order it for them. That's an option. Another option would be maybe you aren't wanting to share the items in here with them and you just want to have a pre-designed kitchen in here that you know that you do every single time, or maybe like a template with just generic items so you almost have a checklist in here for yourself. The way that clients would be able to see that once they've purchased it is only if you create a view for them. You do not have to add them to it because obviously there isn't somebody to add to it yet, but you'll want to create a view and then go into that. We have a totally separate webinar on creating views. If you have questions on that, message us in your studio chat. So the question mark at the top right, and we're happy to send that webinar to you or send any articles, instructions, stuff like that. Files and media. This is very nice to have because you can include your welcome packet in here. So maybe you have a welcome packet to introduce you and your team to people. You have any extra information about your business, maybe your business hours, your typical process, stuff like that. You can create that and have it in here ready to go for them every single time, so you don't even have to worry about it. So I'm going to select new folder, give this a name, and upload that. So I can upload it as a file or images. I can pull it from my computer. I believe that I've uploaded this before. Perfect, I did. So we're going to select that and add it in here. And then I'll go ahead and create. And you can see in this folder, I can choose whether I want to create a folder for the clients to go ahead and upload into whenever they're ready. Or I can also select if I wanted to request approval. Maybe I want to request approval to just show that, yes, they read it, or yes, I know they looked at it. Purchaser can upload would be something like maybe you want them to show inspiration images or before images or stuff like that that you want to just collect before your call, just so again, you aren't having to go through and do all of that kind of questions and try to intake that. They can just go ahead and have it. You can also embed things. So if you wanted to embed like a YouTube video into here, you could do that. So whenever you do that, you would select new embed, you would name it. And then for YouTube, Vimeo, stuff like that, you would just paste the link here. There's no embed code. But if you were embedding like a Canva presentation into here, you would need to grab like the HTML code and paste that here. There's a wide variety of things that you can add into your files and media. It again depends on the package that you're trying to build, but also the resources that you already have. A nice thing is that as you continue building things, you can add more and more in here for future people that need those packages. So if you sell a package and it's very like bones, just like the structure of it, just to get you by, as you're creating those things for your clients because you realize that you need them, you can add them into the package. So then in the future, people already have it. Lastly, the design boards. Again, typically this is more so aimed towards shopper room or like kind of this is an example of a look that you might want. There are other things that if you wanted to maybe just include some examples of work that you've done, maybe through the visualizer, or if you wanted to upload images there, you could also do that in the files and media. Depends on what makes most sense to you. But you do have those options. So now that I've gone through all of this, I'm going to publish this. And now you can see that there is a store page URL. Keep in mind that if you ever publish this and send a link somewhere, and then come back and change either the package name or the package category, they will change that link and that link will not be available anymore. So if you are changing the package name or the package category, you either want to create this as a package template and duplicate it so you just have a new link for moving forward, or just make sure that you take this new link and embed it on your website or wherever you've shared it, just so everything is updated. Because you can see right here, it shows consultation listed, and that's the category. And then under here is the package name. And then the package number does change each time. So even if I change it and then change it back, it will be different. So just be aware that if you are making changes for the package name and category, about that. So I'm going to select to view store page at the top right. Hopefully in the recording, my face is not blocking it, but we shall see. And you can see that this is how the package will look whenever a client clicks to go in and look at different information. So you can also share a page, the store page, to show different options that you have. So this is again where I said, be careful about having the text towards the edge because it may cut it off, but having the text in the center is great. But you can have the store page so they can kind of choose between, and then they can select to view and look at the information. This one isn't filled out very much, so let's go back to that other one that I just created. And again, they can see any of the description here. Once they are ready, they can select to add it to cart. Since I am logged in as the account owner or a team member, it shows that I am the designer and I cannot purchase something from myself. Kind of defeats the purpose. But if you wanted to test out your package, either use a private or incognito window or log out. You will need to use a unique email for your test client. So keep that in mind. It can't be the same email. It'll show that you already have an account. But that is something else to note real quick. Let's go to one of my favorite people that has a bunch of packages. So I can see Tana here. She has services. I'm going to go to her full service design. And she has packages listed on her website. You can embed them, or you can just grab that link that I showed you in the package and create a button. Doing it that way is typically easier for a lot of people if they just grab that link and create a button on your website, but you can also format it to match your branding a lot more easily. And so it will look exactly how you want it. But let's say that I want to view package. This takes me to her package and I can see different details. Um, and if I wanted to go to like add on consultation time, this is a great example of why you might want to template a package. So it has all the same information, but maybe it's just different value increments so they can add that in. Because you can't take a 1 hour package and purchase it or do a multiple quantity in the cart currently. Let's go back over here. Okay, I am going to send this back over to Marcia to finish out our slides, and then we'll go into questions here at the end.
Hello. So that was how to create a package. And while Paxton was talking, I had made a list of things that you can use packages for, but I'll share those towards the end. But one thing you want to make sure that when you're creating your package that you are sharing your calendar. So however, whatever kind of scheduling app you're using, make sure that, you know, if it's a consultation that you're offering or a discovery call, that they're able to book their appointment through the package. Because again, that's all about streamlining that process of them doing that on their own. So you can do that by embedding the link. And again, like I say, that streamlines your process. It eliminates those emails and texts back and forth and eliminates them asking you, hey, are you available Saturday morning to do a consult, and you feeling bad because you have to say no, or you guiltily say yes. So it avoids those types of conversations. We have a QR code here that you can take a photo of and scan to learn how you can share your calendar. So for me, I always have set times for certain appointments. So I like to do my discovery calls because they're prospective clients. I haven't yet met with them or talked to them. So I like to do those early in the week where I'm still very energetic and my usual chatty self. So I like to do those at the beginning of the week. And then I have set time that I'm available for those consultations as well, whether they're virtual or on site. I have a set schedule for those because I want to make sure that, you know, I'm not just doing nothing but consultations and not able to set a time aside for that creative work for the clients that I've already signed. So that's how I like to do it, but everyone works differently. Okay, step number 2 is the client questionnaire. I find that this is a really great avenue for you to explore, especially from the discovery call stage. On my questionnaire is not blingy, it's just basic, but because I'm just gathering information, that's all I'm doing. I used Google Forms, but there's Jot form, Typeform, and gosh knows there could be a bunch of others. I don't get caught up in the tech. I just need to do the thing. I need to get the information I need to get as easily as possible. So on my discovery call questionnaire, I am asking obviously for their phone number so I can call them. But B, I'm asking for, what am I asking for on my discovery call questionnaire? Oh, their project scope, their timeline, and their budget. Because right now, I don't know if it's happening with you all, but this time of year, I'm getting people coming out of the woodwork saying, can you design my kitchen and can you have it done by Christmas? And I'm like, no, I can't, because that's like 9 weeks out and that it's impossible. So by gathering that information through the questionnaire, you can tell even before you jump on the call if this is a project that you're interested in working on. You know, if this is your ideal client. And I know that gets tossed around a lot, but we want you taking projects that fill your cup. So that questionnaire, that discovery call package can help you eliminate those types of clients. And again, we have the QR code. Step 3, elevated client experience. Since I started using packages in my design process, I've definitely been attracting a higher caliber of client than what I was used to. And I have been in business for 18 years, been using Mydoma for, oh gosh, I'm terrible, 3, maybe 4. And so I have just found that the projects that I'm getting, the clients that I'm getting, they're just projects that I want to work on and that I enjoy working on. And so I really strongly will back up the idea that packages are essential to automating your process when it comes to your client onboarding, your client journey. And I've always had positive feedback. Clients will say to me, it's so professional, it's so clean. We seem like, you know, you and your personality is coming across. And of course, that's all related to the copy that you're using. And I know some of you have asked for the copy that Paxton used in the packages and what have you, but you want it to sound like you. That's the important thing with these packages. It's your first with the discovery call, even with initial consult, it's your first impression with the client. So make sure that, it's sounding like you. And again, and you're attracting and engaging and nurturing that potential client. Okay. And automation. So how long does it take to set up a package? Ideally, you can do it in a couple of hours. If you don't have your questionnaire, then you have to create it. But my biggest piece of advice is don't get caught up in the minutia of creating the package. Just get it done. Create that first package and, find a template that you can use for your questionnaire. Google is your friend, for example, and for Googling that stuff and searching that stuff, think of the types of questions you ask when you're vetting a prospective client, and just put those questions on the questionnaire. Don't overthink it. Create your schedule. Think about, do you want to be available, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever your hours are for doing discovery calls, or do you just want to allocate time for that? For me, I work best when I can allocate time for certain tasks, because then I know that I need to be in the headspace for those discovery calls. Because I'm not only selling myself, but I'm also trying to determine if this is a project I'm interested in working on. So again, you do you. And then create a client welcome package. For my discovery calls, I do a client intro package because I haven't yet signed them. I haven't yet agreed to work with them. But that client introduction package that I like to include in my discovery calls, it will go through, testimonials from clients. It'll have a gallery of some of the work I've done. It will set expectations of what I'm looking for in a client, the types of projects I love to work on, and milestones and timelines. So what they can expect. So even before I've talked to them, realistically, anyone signing up for my discovery call, if they look at my client introduction package, they're going to see that there's no way we can do a kitchen in 9 weeks kind of thing. So I like to use that example because that's what I'm getting this time of year. All right, next slide. So streamlining your process with packages, it doesn't just have to be the initial consultation, can help you facilitate new business. And so I'm just going to take a moment here from the slide and share some package suggestions, recommendations. And again, the sky's the limit when it comes to your creativity and what you can do with these. But some of the common ones that we see a lot of our users using is like a shop the room package. So let's say you posted a design, a mood board, or what have you to your social media feed, and you got a lot of attention on it. Why not take that mood board or edit that mood board, attach a product list of 10 to 12 items to it, and sell that as a package. You can even monetize it further by, if you have affiliate marketing for those links, you don't have to do the ordering if you don't want to. You can if you wish to, but if you have affiliate marketing, for example, you can have those links on those items. And so not only are you selling the package, but you're also getting a kickback when they purchase those items. So that is one suggestion for a package. Another one is, with the holiday season coming up, one that you could do is a holiday tablescape package. You could do one for the upcoming fall holidays. You could do one for the December ones, winter solstice, Christmas, whatever you observe or participate in. So you can, and they can be seasonal. They don't have to be holiday related, but they can definitely be seasonal. So think about that. A holiday tablescape package. That's an easy one to do. Another one is, think about the seasons and think about the time when people are buying. So in Valentine's, for example, you can have a package, love your home package. Fall could be fall in love with your home, like play on words. And that one could be how to cozy up your space, and like give them a list of 10 items that they can add. It could, it could be a candle from your favorite candle. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, an interior, a complete interior design of a space, but it can be some of your favorite products that you want to pass on. What else? A course. You can do a course. You can create a course. You can record yourself. I did a kitchen refresh course. It was a 2-hour Zoom recording. I had templates for them. I had layouts. I had budget plans on how they could redesign their kitchen. I did it during COVID when I wasn't able to do my kitchen renovations. I wasn't able to go into clients' houses, but I attracted a lot of clients, potential clients, with that course. Because you think not everyone is necessarily going to hire you right away, but that is a way to not only attract potential clients, but to engage and nurture them because you're providing value, you're giving them something. And once COVID was passed, I ended up getting 2 kitchen jobs just from that 2-hour course. So, and that's something that I can offer. Like I can take it off, I can unlist it, but at certain times of the year, I can put that back on. I already have the recording of myself done. The course is done. And, all my templates are done, value adds and free downloads, and it's all there sitting as a package in Mydoma. So that's something else. Ebooks is another suggestion or an example of a package that you can create. You can write an ebook. You can do lead magnets. So you can create a PDF in Canva. You can have that as your email generator to create your email list on your website. And when they click on that, they actually come to Mydoma, they sign up for the package, and they download it. My lead generator for my email list is 9 cheat sheets. So how to style certain areas in your home. And so when they click on that from my website, they actually are linked to the Mydoma store page. And from there, they create their email address. So now I've captured their email address, and they are now considered a lead, and I can continue my email marketing to them, but they get something in return. So yeah, so PDFs, ebooks, courses, shop your room package, think of the seeds and how you can monetize on that. And so it can be more than just a discovery call package. It can be more than just an initial consultation. It could be a lead generator for you. It could be a value add. It could be you sharing your expertise or just sharing things that you're in love with right now. Like it can be, again, just thinking about that, attracting, that nurturing and engaging. All right. I've said enough. There you go. And so the next steps is get yourself organized. So gather, if it's for a consultation package, gather your questionnaire, your calendar link, and your welcome packet. Create that initial package. So put all your information there and then publish your package. So again, as Paxton went through, you can publish it so it's live, or you could have it published and unlist it. So only with the link can they sign up for that. But it's a great way to start streamlining and automating that initial onboarding process. All right, questions. We did have a few, and I did answer a bunch.
Awesome. I do want to say as well, another thing that you can do is you can also do like gift certificate packages. And then I put in the chat that it's not as common, but just so you can kind of get like an idea of what creativity you can use, is that during COVID, there was a designer that sold quite a few renders of Zoom backgrounds. So like we still have a lot of people working from home, and that's an easy way to kind of just get a little bit coming in. So let's go through these questions. If I can exit out of this, there we go. The presentation. Okay. I've had several packages online since at least a year, and did not sell any of them. It has made no impact on my business. Categories are pretty self-explanatory: home, consultation, shop with a designer, window treatments, etc. Both on social media and website. So with packages, it does take a little bit of marketing, because with packages, oftentimes people can't just find it on their own, but sharing it on social media, word of mouth, so talking with your clients, and if they have friends, being like, oh, they can get this. You can also share packages or even embed packages into an existing project to try to upsell as an option. And so it does take, especially for the passive income things, it does still take some marketing and planning for that too. So that is something to keep in mind, that not always is everything super passive. We would love for everything to just be like, oh, just create this once and hands off. I no longer have to do it. That would be amazing. However, unfortunately, with this day and age, because there are so many options out there, that's not the way that it can happen. You will need to market it and try to sell it and promote it. What I'll try and see is if we can get maybe a marketing um, package webinar set up with some of the designers that have had success with it to see if maybe that would help too. So for some of the verbiage, there are some templates that Mydoma can provide. I will take a look and see what we have, and I can send that along. Marcia already said that too, but just in case anybody else have questions about it.
And I'm just working on sending those along.
Perfect. And we'll probably send it in the recording just to make it easier for everybody to ensure that everybody gets it too. Yes, it will be recorded and it will be sent out to everybody that registered. Will the questionnaire answers still go to the external source, or will they stay in the studio if it is embedded? So because of the way that the questionnaires work, currently the answers would still go to the third party that you use to build it. In that, you can select to have it send you a notification once they have filled it out. This is just because of the way that questionnaire embeds currently work. We're looking towards ways to hopefully improve that. And of course, if questionnaire embeds allow that later in the future, that'd be great. We'll be right on top of that. But I don't have a time frame just because it is a little bit more complex. So typically you would go, for example, Google Forms. They would fill it out here. Then you would go to Google Forms. You can download that single response and upload it into the files and media of the purchase package or the project. Let's go over really quick, since we have 5 minutes, on what it is like for a client to purchase this package. So I'm going to view store page, and I'm going to come back over here and actually log out. If I can find my mouse, there it is. Okay, so I've logged out. I'm going to go ahead and refresh. So whenever they go to your website or the link on your social media, whatever you have, they can select to add to cart. And if you have it set up to where there are multiple packages that you do want them to purchase, then they can continue listing this. If there is a price added onto it, and again, if you have Stripe set up, you'll be able to add a price to it and they can enter their card information to pay for it. Keeping in mind that currently there is not a way to pass the fees for packages, so you would want to build that into your price if you are passing the fees and if that is legal where you are. Definitely check with your accountant and or business lawyer on that part. But I can see
up there. I just add 5% to my package price, and that way I know that that credit card processing fee is not coming out of my bottom line, and that I'm covering that expense.
yes, and that makes for easy math too. So thank you, thank you. So they can see the total. They'll give themselves their first name and last name. Helps if I actually look at what I'm typing. First name and last name. I hit the tilde button on my keyboard instead of tab. Then I can type in my email and then create my password. So here I can see Mydoma's terms and conditions, because they do still need to go through our terms and see that because it is through Mydoma. And they can see this listed here. And then check that off, and you have the pre-purchase agreement, and it shows if you have multiple pre-purchase agreements, it'll show all of them listed here, and you can click on that and review it. And they can check that off, and then they can select get package. Let's exit out of LastPass and everything. So now that I've done that, it has taken me directly into the package. So I can see the post-purchase information here and see more and read it. I can see that there's a little notification icon next to the questionnaires and appointments to kind of indicate that that's what I need to do. And so I can come in here, select this, fill it out. And same thing for the questionnaires. And again, if I come over to contracts, I will see that pre-purchase agreement showed signed by me and accepted. And then they can see all the different information. If there isn't anything there for them to see, it will be grayed out so they don't have to worry about it or they don't have to click on it. If I had turned off my design boards, then they wouldn't have even seen this grayed out since I wasn't using it for this. Now that I've also signed it, let me go into logged in as the account owner. I'm going to pause the share for just a moment. Okay, so I have an email that would have been sent to me showing that the package was purchased. I can also see recent projects here listed as that was purchased. But if I go into my projects overall, again, it'll show up here unless you have like a project group saved for different organization. But you can see this as a project now, and you can continue to build off of this or edit anything that you need on this. One last little tidbit before we go, because I know we are right at time. One thing that might be helpful to turn on as well is if you want your clients to be able to message you without you messaging them first inside the studio. So in the studio settings at the very top left, logo mark studio settings, scroll down to messaging. You can toggle this on and then select who they can email as soon as they become active, or not email, but message through the studio. You will get an email notification showing that they messaged you as well. But I can show that it's myself and the account owner, whoever, can be messaged by the client once they've done that. That way they have the capability to message you and ask you questions without you having to prompt the message first. However, some people would prefer that they message first, and that is totally okay. Just a little tip that you can know.